Hey guys, happy Friday. You know what time it is, right? It is time to bring in the man, the legend himself, straight from Las Vegas. It is Mr. Joe Damico joining us via the Miami Acura webcam. And Jojo, how are you? What is going on? Love the chain, brother. You're looking good here on a Friday.
Jojo, thanks. I'm doing great. I'm honored to be here as usual. Listeners, I hope everybody's well. Everything is great. Vegas is always wonderful. Got a couple of great events this weekend we're going to be doing, but it's been raining here, and I love Vegas. And Vegas is entertainment, weather, shopping, gambling, you name it. But on the few times a year that it actually rains, you need to call Noah and build yourself a boat because it starts flooding. I'm not kidding. It actually is flooding outside these houses. I even got the windows on over here because I was looking at cars driving up and down my block. My block is okay, but I'm just looking at all the cars and how wet they are and whatnot. And my pool is overflowing. My pool's just right over there from the camera angle. And my pool is overflowing. And it rains, man. It gets crazy here.
It does, man. Well, and people don't realize that, too. I mean, yes, it is the desert, but when you do get that rain, boy, oh boy, like you said, build an ark because it's coming. And I'm wondering, too, Joe, this time of year in Las Vegas, outside of course, you know, the people flying in and flying out, but the locals, what are they talking about sports-wise? Is it all Las Vegas nights all day? Is it Raider talk now? Like, is it UNLV? What do people in Vegas actually locally talk about on the sports scene?
Truth be told, Joe, I've been writing for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, which is the only newspaper in the state of Nevada for about 15 years. There is very little talk about the basketball Rebels. Football season, there's no talk about the football Rebels.
Nothing.
None. It's horrible. I will tell you this, and I'm an advocate for everything Vegas. I love everything Vegas. I am just we have more coverage of the Golden Knights. And there are people, they don't know the difference between a slap shot, a wrist shot, a cross check, a fork check. They don't know the difference between their ass and an elbow. And they're all Golden Knights. You see Golden Knights everywhere, which is great. And I want you to know that last year, our city on October 1st suffered a horrific tragedy. And I think the Golden Knights did a lot to bring this city together because this city was in trouble. It was down. But immediately, even the following day after the October 1st tragedy, the following morning, my family was up at 3. Well, we didn't sleep, but we went over to the blood banks. We gave blood. We brought drink, food. We started organizing. But the whole city came together. But I think a big part of us coming together as a city and bouncing back from that tragedy was the Golden Knights. And I'm an advocate for anything Vegas. I'm not the biggest hockey guy. And being in the desert, there are people, a lot of here that come from other places. Vegas is huge. We're only really experiencing maybe the second generation of people in Southern Nevada that were born here. Other than that, everybody's from somewhere else. And, I mean, we still have, since the mid-'80s, we still have the most moved-to city in the country. And there are people that came from places like the Midwest or Northern New York, and there were hockey fans or Canadians. Anyway, I don't get started on Canadians, but that came here, and there are hockey fans, but everybody in the city was a Vegas Golden Knight. I will tell you this. It's funny because if they ever start losing, you won't see a Golden Knights anything. This is a very fickle city. We have access to great basketball. We have the Rebels. You know, we get teams that come in. We haven't sold out a Rebels basketball game since the 90-91 season.
Really?
It's a shame. We get nobody at Rebel football. It is a shame. It is a shame. We have, I want you to know, from a baseball point of view, we have, over the years, we've had the 51s, the Stars. They changed the name now to the Aviators. They changed teams, the Mets, farm system, the Padres originally, then the Mets. They changed a few times. We have great baseball on a great baseball field that literally it's like you could get in and watch a game for like $7 in one of the most beautiful parks you've ever seen overlooking the mountains. They have dollar beer night, dollar food night. They have so much fun there, and it doesn't sell. The only time it gets a good sell or a good crowd is when we do what's called Major League Weekend. And over the last few years, we've had the Cubs, we've had the Rockies, a couple other teams come in. We went this past last year. It almost sells out for those. This is a very fickle city. This is why I think having the Raiders come here, and we do have a Raider fan base because we're right next to California. People don't realize that as many people drive into Vegas as take a plane in here. I mean, over approximately 50 million tourists we had last year. A lot of them drive in, truth be told, even though we have like the 7th busiest airport in the world. But, Joe, I'll be honest, we got a lot of Raider fans that come in here, some that live here. I don't think people realize what it's like to fill a 50-plus thousand seat stadium 8 times a year when you don't have a winning team. This team is not a winning team. They don't have a smart coach. I don't like that little Chucky-looking bastard. I don't like the team, and I'm going to be honest with you. I am not a territorialist. I'm like a racist, an ageist, a sexist. I'm not saying anything about people, but overall, the Raider fan base, there's problems. It follows them. Problems follow them. All right, I have friends that own businesses in Oakland. I have a friend that owns a Holiday Inn there. Literally a year ago, there's a fight every weekend. There's brawls every weekend.
Yep. I
swear to you, on All That's Holy, on a stack of Bibles, he was cleaning up after a big melee that happened in the parking lot in the lobby, and I swear to you, on a stack of Bibles, he found an eyeball. Joe, I'm not comical. I know I'm funny. I'm humorous. I'm not like he found an eyeball. Now, what's even worse than finding an eyeball is nobody claimed the fucking claimed the eyeball, which is even more disturbing. Problems follow these Raider people. I've gone to 2 baseball games in Oakland over the last several years with my wife, my nephew, my niece, and my son.
Mm-hmm.
And twice I hit people. Twice. One time I got a bunch of 5-6 guys all tatted out, smoking the blunt in the stadium. Real great guys. One guy went up to my son and it looked like he was going to hit him. Grown man. I popped the guy. Boom! Sound like a pistol went off. All of a sudden, the other guy scattered. You know how tough guys are. They scattered. Course. The police had me in handcuffs. I said, what are you talking about? They cut off beer things at like the 5th inning there because it gets so rowdy. We went back again. I took my son and my nephew to go get hot dogs and beers and whatnot, sodas for the kids, beers for us. And I heard my wife's voice from the ladies' room. 2 guys followed my wife and my niece in the ladies' room because they were wearing Yankee stuff, berating them. So I hit another guy. Ooh. They had me in cuffs again. These fans, overall, there's a lot of good fans, but there seems to be a lot of trouble that follows these places. Once this happens here, and if it overflows on Las Vegas Boulevard or by the casinos, there's going to be issues because there's a few things you can't mess with in Las Vegas. And the biggest thing you can't mess with is our casinos and our revenue. It's our biggest revenue stream here. Yep. And I think it's not a good situation. I don't see – there's going to be excitement. First season, them coming here, there'll be some sellouts. There'll be like, who's going to be going there, especially whoever's famous Raider fans or this and our ex-Raiders. They're going to bring them all in here. But once they don't start winning and the crowd's thin, I think the locals are going to get tired of it very quickly.
Yeah, if they're not tired of it already. He is Joe Damico. AASIwins.com is where you can reach him. He joins us every Friday live from Las Vegas there. As you can see, Joe is getting ready for the weekend. And, Joe, it is going to be one hell of a weekend. NFL Divisional Championships. And I don't think, and you tell me, but I don't think it's any surprise that we're talking about 4 of the best coaches in the NFL, along with 4 of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, are all vying for a trip to Atlanta in the Super Bowl. And, I mean, if you had to put them in order, Joe, from, coach and quarterback, who you trust the most this weekend, how would you rate them?
There is, hands down, without a doubt, the best quarterback-coach combination in the history of this sport is Belichick and Brady. There's no argument. And for a New Yorker to praise anything from the state of Massachusetts, that's sacrilege. I could be thrown out of Yankee Stadium for that. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you this. There is no arguing the fact that Brady and Belichick are the best quarterback coach duo in the history of this game. I mean, you know, great coaches. I'm not going to go Vince Lombardi on through, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. In the middle eras when you had the Giants that won a couple Super Bowls with Phil Simms, but you had Hostetler come in. You had Joe Gibbs win 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks.
Oh, good Christ. I thought you were going to go Y.A. Tittle on me, man.
Had a couple of different coaches there.
All right.
I would say Bill Walsh with Joe Montana and then Steve Young and then the change. Great, but there's no arguing the fact that Belichick and Brady, that's it. They're the Yankees, and there's nobody else is next. That's it.
Yeah. I got to give Breeze and Peyton have been doing it a pretty long time for a while too. I mean, Andy Reid, he's got the kid, but maybe, you know, Andy Reid is a guy that has always just been so close there with Brady and Belichick, but it's always been that quarterback that's been his issue, and maybe this could be the kid. I don't know. I mean, Sean McVay, I think we already know what Jared Goff did without Sean McVay. So, you know, that quarterback-coach combination, I don't find it at least surprising that we're talking about 4 of the best in both categories getting ready to do battle.
You got 2 older guys that we're talking about, Brady and Belichick. I'm not a big Andy Reid fan, Joseph. I'm really not. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. And I just can't even look at him. Just to look at him, I feel like I need a bath or a penicillin shot. I think the only incentive for him to actually make it or win the Super Bowl is that he gets to have the free buffet at the White House. Yeah. I can't look at him. I don't think he's a genius. I think he's had some good teams, some good coordinators. I think he's had some good players. But until you win the big one, and not just get to the big one, win the big one, you know, it's really important. Sean Payton, yes, a lot of success. Very good coach, very good player coach. It doesn't hurt when you got Drew Brees at the helm. McVay is now, I was just talking with some ex-NFL players yesterday, which we'll touch on a little bit later. But a lot of people, a lot of a lot of coaches thrown out. I think 8 spots are going to open up eventually, it looks like. And every corporate office or every home office is looking for the next McVay. You know, and he's done a lot there, especially in the last 2 years since before he got there to the year he did start last year. I mean, what a turnaround, and now they are a true force, 1 game away from the Super Bowl. You gotta like him. You gotta like the team overall. Goff, Gurley, the whole team. A couple of guys on defense. I'm not a big fan of Sue. I'm really not. I think he's overrated, and I just don't like him as a player or a person. But that's beside. That's not neither here nor there. But I think what we're going to be talking about in a minute is the more established coach and quarterback combinations this weekend.
All right, so there we go. I mean, we've got, let's start in New England on the road, Kansas City. A lot has been made about the weather, Joe. All we keep hearing about is the weather in Kansas City. So as you approach and you're looking at this game, trying to break it down, I mean, how much of a factor do you consider the weather to be here if it's going to be? I mean, are you even looking at it from a spread point of view, or is it just a totals issue that the weather is?
Well, Joe, the total first came out 28, and first reports, forecasted reports, was that it would be single digits, and Arrowhead, the coldest postseason game ever played there, which forced the game to go from 58.5 down to 55.5, where it really still is. There's a 56 or 2 around, but that's just boom, boom, boom. And I will tell you, you know, I spoke to one of the greatest NFL receivers ever, over a 15-year career, record holder in a lot of categories yesterday. We were talking one-on-one. We had a beer together. We had some fun. We had some laughs. And he was trying to tell me about literally statistics about this point-wise percentage, about completions and passes. And I bypassed all that because I just threw it right out the window. I thought it was just a little more hot air than it was more to it. But he did tell me, he says, you know, it does change the way a quarterback throws the ball, the way the ball actually, you know, spins in the air and how it's delivered. And he said, as a receiver, even if we wear gloves, it's cold out there. Yep. He says your hands aren't, I don't want to say warmed up, but pliable. It's hard. He says it hurts. First of all, he says it hurts like a mofo. He said, but literally it makes it a lot harder to catch the ball. So I will put a little stock in the fact that And I think it's going to hurt Mahomes more than it does Brady here. I really do, because of A, experience, and B, that Kansas City lives and dies with, to me, the passing game. But from me, point of view, it changes things a little bit with the total, but not much, because it's in the number now. It went down to 55.5.
Right, and we know it's going to be cold. We know that we've got Tom Brady, who's been here, done this, not necessarily great on the road. Patrick Mahomes, his first go-around here. You anticipate this to be a high-scoring game, Joe, or are we looking at a, are we going to look back at maybe a 17-14 kind of, minus-degree weather game here?
I want to be honest with you and our listeners. I try to be as honest as I can. I am as good as there is in this business, and I've won as much and more money than anybody in this business the last 20 or 30 years. I think there's an argument for both sides of the total here. I really do. I think you can go, well, wait a minute. Both coaches are going to prepare for the offenses. They're going to be geared down. But both offenses are so explosive, they can put up points on anybody. I think there's an argument for both sides. So me personally, as a professional handicapper, a professional sports gambler, I think there's more value on betting the side here. Okay, so we've got, there's a lot of money coming in late here, and some people feel that it might, a lot more money, especially public money, might be coming in. Tom Brady and the Patriots, of course, might be moving this number down here. Maybe, so if you can get 3 for the Patriots, should you hop on it, or would you roll the dice here and see what happens? Joe, and listeners, followers, I'm not looking to take anything away from the Chiefs, but to be honest, we all watched the Colts game last week. And from the opening kickoff, Kansas City seemed to dominate. But look very closely at this game. Andrew Luck was off. He made some poor passes, some poor decisions. He fumbled the ball away. Some receivers dropped some very easy catches. Career go-to money kicker, Adam Vinatieri, another great Italian, Joe, misses a point after and misses a field goal. I don't think that the Chiefs really won this game, as moreover, the Colts lost it. The Chiefs won it on the scoreboard and whatever else, but I'm going to tell you now, I think it was kind of handed to them. The Colts it wasn't that they were outplayed. I think that they were just off for this game. And it wasn't because I had them last week. I'm not looking to play that card. I just did it. I saw Andrew Luck off. I saw the whole team never get into rhythm. And I don't think the Chiefs took it. I think the Colts gave it. Okay, fair enough assessment there. As far as that, to tell you more, the Patriots, they're in a very rare underdog role for the first time in the playoffs since 2014 with Tom Brady at the helm. We all know, as we spoke, how good the Chiefs' offense is. They're ranked #1 in points scored. Pat Mahomes has got a banner year. But, guys, he is still a first-year starter playing against a dynasty with the best head coach-quarterback combo ever. New England defense has tightened up. I think they're going to allow yards. But I think they're going to be throwing a lot of different schemes at Mahomes and force the very young and inexperienced quarterback to make some mistakes. Let's talk about the Kansas City defense, Joseph. Let's talk about them. They won this year because their offense outscored opponents. But their defense is a doormat. They're ranked 31st versus the pass, 27th versus the rush. Man, it's ugly. It's uglier than if Patrick Ewing and Larry Bird had a baby. It is an ugly defense. They give up a lot of points. Let's go on the flip side. New England offense. Granted, agreed. Josh Gordon's gone. Rob Gronkowski isn't what he once was. However, rookie running back Sony Michel, he racked up 129 yards rushing last week, 3 TDs. He's got over 900 for the year. I think he's going to be able to exploit a defense that ranked last in the league, yielding 4.96 yards per carry in the regular season. There is a lot of talk about New England's lack of success on the road historically. Nonsense, bullshit, hogwash, whatever you want to call it, throw it out the window. Mahomes' youth is going to be a factor. I think the weather will affect their passing game, and the Brady Belichick vast postseason experience is going to play a major role. Listen to a couple of against the spread stats, please. 2-9. These are the Chiefs. 2-9 the last 11 playoff games, and 2-5-1 against the spread the last 8 games coming into this matchup. The Patriots 8-3 against the spread. The last 11, I'm reading these, sorry guys, the last 11 playoff games, and 38-17 against the number, the last 55 overall. You got to ride a train until it stops. Belichick and Brady this time of year. You know, I went against them last week. and they proved me wrong. And I'm not going with them because they proved me wrong last week. It was my fault because I went against the hoodie and Tom Terrific. They're going to get the win. It's going to be their experience here. And also, please understand something else. We talked about earlier. Andy Reid, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. I don't care how many times you get there. You got to win it. All right? And I just don't. First-year starter, Pat Mahomes, very good, great future. I look forward to this guy the next couple of years. I don't think Andy Reid gets the job done, especially against the hoodie. Belichick, this is going to be his last year. This is going to be their last year where we can really say they're going to win it. You know, Gronk has talked about maybe leaving.
Right.
A couple other guys. They're going to have to change their personnel. But
they might just very well have one extra game to play, though, because you're riding him, man. You're taking the points. He's riding New England. Yep, AASIwins.com. That is where you can reach Joe. Also, I'm going to put a number here up on the screen, a couple of numbers for you that you can start getting not only his football plays, that his best bets right through the Super Bowl, but also NBA college hoops coming your way. There's the number, 800-563-8854. You got a free winner there, and not to mention you've got a package for everybody at 855-563-8854. You just got to pick up the phone, call Joe, start winning, make it a profitable weekend across the board, not only NFL, but in college hoops, in the NBA, also in the NBA. Now, Joe, one other game, and New England, and not New England, you've got New Orleans, and Drew Brees, and you got another young guy, Jared Goff, and the up-and-coming coach, and, you know, here we go. It's amazing how similar these two games are, but are they similar to you when you look at them as far as, you know, youth versus experience?
Well, Joe, as we all know, these two teams met back in November 4th at the Superdome. It turned out to be one of the most exciting games all season, bar none. New Orleans got the winning cover, 45-35. Los Angeles is going to be playing their first road playoff game in their new regime here. I think that's a factor. The Rams do have a top 5 offense. However, I delved into this. I looked closely. They scored less while their defense allowed more on the road this season. This is also the first time as an underdog all year, which may affect their confidence as a very young team. You know, all year long, every game they were favored. They got a little bit on their shoulders. They were winning. They're an underdog, all right? Now, that may affect them as a young team. Jared Goff's numbers fall drastically away from home. The quarterback, here's his touchdown to interception ratio at home at the Coliseum, 22-3. As a visitor this season, 10-9 ratio. Now, how about this? I'm going to go you one further. Against playoff teams this season, 1 touchdown, 5 INTs. That's big. That says a lot. Yep. I think he's a very good quarterback, all right? I think he's a big part of why the team has had success. I think their coach, utilizing him in the ways he does, has a bigger part. He's a very smart guy. But I really do think that you've got to get a few playoff wins. And this is a whole different monster, Joe. Whatever you can do in the regular season, throw it out. Kind of like being in a marriage, bro. You can do whatever you do. Yesterday, you come home, you always just, well, what have you done for me today? Same thing. The playoffs are a whole different monster. I want to talk something else. Jared Goff, he's going to be, once again, without his safety blanket, wide receiver cup. Yeah. Let's flip it. Now, let's go talk about the Saints. Playing at home in front of a friendly crowd in one of the loudest venues in all of sports is going to benefit New Orleans. Sean Payton, Drew Brees era. They're 6-0 together in the Superdome in the playoffs. Last week, the Rams defense only had to contain really one offensive threat that the Cowboys have, Ezekiel Elliott. Once they just matched up with him, the rest of the offense folded for the Cowboys. Joseph, the Saints have a slew of talented receivers along with 2 good running backs, Kamara and Ingram. I want to talk about Alvin Kamara. I think Alvin Kamara is one of the most valuable players to his team in the NFL. To his team. Now, obviously, there's some quarterbacks, some running backs that maybe have bigger numbers. But I think as far as value to his team, I think Alvin Kamara might have replaced Rob Gronkowski as one of the most valuable guys to his offense in all of the NFL, not just because he's a ball carrier, but because he's so dangerous coming out of the backfield as a receiver. they just have too many playmakers for the Rams defense to cover. And as far as quarterbacks go, Drew Brees, one of the best ever. Not just has he been on this platform in the playoffs, he's won here as well. Big factor. New Orleans also accounts for some truly time-consuming drives. They use up more time on big drives. Last week, I happened to watch some talk that some of the Philadelphia Eagles were talking on the sidelines. Their defenders, and they said, I have never seen, while they came off the field after that one drive, I believe was 13 minutes. And New Orleans does this a lot. They use up a lot of time. They get a lot of third down conversions. They got Kamara, like I said, running the ball. They got Ingram. Aqib Talib gambles a bit. And being that he's not 100%, I think that Drew Brees is going to exploit that. Along with the fact that they've got these long drives. They keep defenses on the field entire to keep defenses off the field overall. There's their defense. Let's talk about that. It's the elephant in the room. Their defense in the air leaves a lot to be desired, but they own the second-ranked stop unit in the NFL against the rush. Understand this, the Rams' offense only works when it passes off the run. So if they can slow down Gurley, it's going to seriously affect Goff and throwing the ball. I want our listeners to know one of the best defenders that New Orleans has, Sheldon Rankins, he's out here, but I don't have any doubt that boy wonder head coach Sean Payton is going to make some adjustments. Here's some against the spread numbers. Just heads up, the home team is 7-0 against the spread the last 7 meetings of the series. LA 2-5 against the number the last 7 playoff games. New Orleans 5-2 the last 7 games played in January. I'm laying the small number, the 3 with the Saints here. I like getting the 3 on one side on the Patriots, but I like laying the 3 here. I think it could be a shootout. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I have to lay the 3 points with the veteran quarterback against the first-time quarterback at this juncture, and the more experienced head coach against head coach with a little less experience.
Yeah, so there it is. It's going to be experience ruling the day here during the weekend. NFL, New England take the points, lay the
Joe,
points.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can get you now. There you go. You can probably hear me. There you go.
Can we edit that part out?
Yeah, that's perfect. No problem there. It probably recorded anyway, but 3, 2, 1. So there you got it. It's going to be all about experience this weekend. You're looking New England taking the points at +3 here, 2.5, depending on what you get. And go ahead and lay those points with New Orleans. Experience, Drew Brees. Go with the old men. They're going to take the youth. It's just not their time yet. But I'm sure we'll be talking about Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes a lot in the future. But right now, it's all about being profitable this weekend. And you can do that by getting in touch with Joe Damico here, AASIWins.com. We're going to throw the numbers up on the screen once again. Start profiting in college hoops, getting ready for March Madness, the NBA. The numbers are there for you. You've got it now. You got all the information you need. New England and New Orleans this weekend. And then, of course, we'll start talking as we move along here, getting a little prop bets ready for the Super Bowl. We'll start talking some college hoops and some NBA. Those are the numbers that you can reach, Joe. But let's make it about the old men this weekend. Joe, then let's see 80-year-old Brady and 78-year-old Drew Brees, man. Let's see them do battle in Atlanta.
Joe, I just think it's a very exciting time of year. You know, we just finished college football. We finished with a winner on Clemson. We're at the last 3 games in the NFL. The college basketball is really starting to take shape. NBA, a lot of excitement there. I want our listeners to know it doesn't matter what shape the ball is as long as you're making money. Understand that. I am a multi-time college and pro basketball handicapping champion. Each and every day, my free pick hotline on a pre-recorded message line. No salesman, no bullshit. You don't get no callbacks. We're not going to bother you. You call my free pick hotline, guys, every day by 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1-800-563-8854. That's 1-800-JOE. 8854. Over the last 4.5 years that I have this line, Joe, documented at over 67% every single day they get a game. On my pay pick hotline, I reserve my highest rate of plays. I have $7 plays, $10, $15, some $25 to $50 like parlays and things like that. I don't say parlays, multiple games that I like, teams that I like on there. That's 855 855-Joe, 8854. I've only had this line 2.5 years. I put up games 3, 4, 5 days a week, documented over 72%. Everything over 55, 56% is gravy in this business, let alone to do that over a week, a month, a season. Do it for 2.5 years. Call those lines. I promise you, you're going to make money, guys.
There you go.
Something else I do want our guys to know. I am not a big guy on parlays. I don't like multiple bets. I like less is more. I'd rather have one wife like Heidi Klum than 100 like Rosie O'Donnell. I'd rather have, excuse me, Joe, 15 minutes of amazing, great sex than 4 hours of boring sex. Give me the best you got. Listen, less is more. You don't have to bet every game every day. It's very important. And just because a game is on TV, and I'm not talking about the 2 conference championships this weekend, I'm talking about now basketball. You don't have to bet every marquee game, every top 25 team, or in the NBA, oh, this game is on ESPN or TV, excuse me, or on TNT. Guys, be very selective. In basketball, as opposed to football, 99% of your games are Saturday and Sunday. Basketball, 7 days a week. You got really like 5 days, 5 days full slates, 1 day like a half a slate, 1 day a small slate. We're talking about Fridays. But I want you to know, if you don't like something today, pass. Go tomorrow. I don't like parlays. I don't like putting tons of teams together or making tons of bets. This way, listen, God forbid you like 2 games, you go 0-2 today. You're 1 day away from getting your money back. If you start betting these games, 6, 7, 8 games in a day on a Saturday or a Wednesday in college basketball, and you have a 1-7 or an 0-8 day, which does happen, guys, it's going to take 4, 5, 6, 7 winning days to get you back in the plus column. Don't listen to these yo-yos that tell you to bet 100 games in a day. Less is more. It's also less stress. It's less stress. Listen, whether you win quick or you lose quick, it's another day. You come back tomorrow to fight. Don't knock yourself out and kill your bankroll in 1 day. It's money management is very important. I love basketball. I make more people more money in basketball in a month than I can really in almost a season of football, because we really do move on these. And please understand, like I said, basketball's every day. Football, 99% of your games, Saturday and Sunday. It doesn't matter what shape the ball is as long as you're making money and you're having a good time. Remember, this should be enjoyable, but isn't it always more enjoyable when you're getting paid? I know I like it. Follow me through basketball. I promise you, I'll make a believer out of you for basketball.
AASIwins.com is where you can reach him, or the numbers. Put them up on the screen one more time for you guys here. You get that free winner right there, calling the 800 number, and you can go ahead, get yourself a package that suits you with the 855 number. Just do yourself a favor and get Joe working for you. Have the 30-plus years experience in your corner. That is what it is all about. Joe Damico, the legend, live from Las Vegas, joins us Fridays here. JoJo, listen, best of luck to you this weekend, my friend. Enjoy yourself. Stay warm, stay dry, and then make sure that you come back. We'll talk to you again, starting getting ready for the Super Bowl starting next Friday, my friend.
Absolutely, and we got a lot more things that are going to happen for our listeners out there and our followers. And Joe, I just want to tell you, I'll take a moment and say I love working with you. I have a lot of fun. We got a great camaraderie. If you're a little cuter, I might take you out on a date, but I got to tell you, I really do like working with you. And I just love the camaraderie. And I've been getting such a nice response on social media, and I get emails and stuff from people that look at my stuff on social media. We do a lot of Twitter stuff. You do actually for us, and I appreciate everything you do. And everybody just loves the camaraderie. And we give good content, but we're having a good time because we're having a good time.
Yeah, and people are they're getting smarter, they're getting more profitable, and ultimately that's what it's all about. So Joe Damico, make sure you're tailing him at Joe Damico Wins on Twitter, and then come back, join us again next Friday as we get you ready for another slate of games in the weekend. Joe Damico, appreciate your time as always, brother.
Joe, thank you, and listeners, good luck and have a winning day.